What's going on, everybody? TJ here from TJ's Take. We have Thursday Night Football tonight. We have the Steelers heading into Cleveland, taking on the Browns. Steelers are 3-point dogs. We have a total of 41.5. I'm assuming Steelers are 3-point dogs simply because this game is in Cleveland. Both teams have their weaknesses. Pittsburgh's offense, with Mason Rudolph in there, isn't so high-powered. They do have a decent running game, which will help them out against a Cleveland defense who ranks 27th against the rush. I really do like Pittsburgh in this game. I like them to win the game. I like it if you take the points. I like if you tease it all the way down to Pittsburgh minus 6.5. I do think they're going to win this game by at least a touchdown. I don't think Freddie Kitchens and Baker are going to be able to move the ball very much against this Pittsburgh defense at all. I think Cleveland's defense is going to have to step up, and I really don't see Pittsburgh passing the ball very much. I think they're going to rely on their defense and their running game, and I think I like the under as well. I think 41.5 is too high. So I mean, all that said, I really like the kickers today. If you play over on DraftKings, absolutely love both defenses. I would go ahead and lock in the Steelers defense today. I just think they're too good. The Cleveland O-line does not look good. Baker has been a turnover machine. They do have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt back. I do expect them to have a little production today, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat these Steelers. So I like running backs and I like kickers today. And DraftKings, you can obviously throw the defenses in there too. So let's go ahead and start these builds with James Conner is back. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know if he's still banged up or not. Doesn't even have a questionable tag on him. But I do think him and Jalen Samuels will both see a good share of touches, and I don't mind playing them together. I won't in this one, so I'm going to go ahead and pair James Conner right away with Chris Boswell and go ahead and get that out of the way. I think there's going to be a lot of field goals in this game. I'm going to go ahead and plug both kickers in, actually. I like playing them together today. I like playing them together today. I think both of them will reach double digits. So when we go from there, we obviously like to pair running backs with tight ends, running backs with kickers. We have both kickers in there. I'm going to go ahead and grab Nick Chubb, and let's see what we can do there. We get both starting running backs, both kickers, and then we have 13,000. Now, I do think a lot of people will have the same idea of how this game is going to go, so I do think this could be a popular build. So we have to get different with this last pick. A lot of people will go to Jarvis Landry at 12K or Odell Beckham at 11.5. I don't mind going all the way down here to Jalen Samuels and grabbing both running backs. Take him, you leave $3,000. Really don't mind grabbing Kareem Hunt at all. He's going to catch a lot of balls. Really like him over on DraftKings where you get that full point per reception. You can plug him in. I honestly don't mind coming all the way down here and grabbing Vance McDonald and leaving the 5,500. I think there will be a couple touchdowns in this game maybe, and I think Vance McDonald might be that guy. Mason Rudolph does like to target Vance in the red zone. Let's take a look at the game log here. The past two games he's seen 7 targets, 1 touchdown in Indy a couple weeks ago. I'm pretty sure they targeted him in the red zone against the Rams last week as well. Vance McDonald, really like him today. I expect him to see a lot of balls coming his way. A lot of short passes against this Cleveland defense should result in Vance McDonald having some production today. So I really like that, leaving 5,500 in your large field tournaments. Again, if you're playing smaller tournaments, you can go ahead and get one of those guys, like a Kareem Hunt, a Jalen Samuels, or a Jarvis or Odell, even Juju Smith-Schuster. Don't mind it at all. Again, we can flip-flop this all around too. We can put Chubb up top, so on and so forth. If I am going to play a quarterback today, it will probably be Baker, just because I do think he's going to be passing more. That's pretty much it. So I can go ahead and I like this build a lot just because they throw to him. I like putting Kareem Hunt in the top spot. Maybe a second week back he gets even more production. He almost saw double-digit targets last week in the passing game and had a good amount of rushes. I can go ahead and start with him and Baker in this one and go from there. So starting there, I can go ahead and grab James Conner and come back down and grab Boswell again, and that'll leave us 11-5. Now I do want to go get another one of Baker's targets, so I think Odell is fine. You're not leaving any salary, but you do have Kareem Hunt in that top spot, which already makes you different. Um, but I like coming down here and grabbing Rashard Higgins. He's going to be the number 3 wide receiver now. Um, I do think Pittsburgh will key on these wide receivers, get them frustrated. I think Rashard Higgins is going to be the guy that's going to see a lot of targets today in that 3 spot. Antonio Callaway, when he was in there, really surprised they released him. Something must have happened. Coach's decision last week not to play him. Before that was getting a good amount of production. Don't know what happened. But Rashard Higgins will be in there, and this will be his chance to break out. So I think putting him in there and leaving the 5,500 will separate yourself a ton. Nobody's going to have this lineup with Kareem Hunt up top, and I think it can really give you some leverage here. It's really hard for me to try and make a passing attack for the Steelers today. I think it's something I can fade altogether. I don't even think it's very risky. I will have a little exposure to Mason Rudolph just because he can run the ball a little bit, and Juju is Juju. But other than that, I'm going to stick to Jalen Samuels, James Conner, and Chris Boswell here, and Vance McDonald. I don't think I need to go much beyond that. James Washington and Rudolph seem like they're connecting a little better, so I could go with James Washington a little bit. But I'm going to stick with mostly running game here. So I'm going to go down here and grab Jalen Samuels. We've seen him be the top scorer even with James Conner in the lineup. So I can go ahead and plug him in up top. He's going to run the Wildcat. Could be successful against this Cleveland defense. I can play him and Conner together. And something I like to do, Samuels, Conner, and Chubb all together. I don't mind that one bit. I'm going to come down here and grab Seibert as well and see what we can do with that. That'll leave us 12-5. I do like grabbing the other kicker, 3 backs, 2 kickers. That's exactly how I think this game is going to go. But there's going to be passes through the air. One of these wide receivers is going to catch a lot of balls. So I don't mind going with Odell here and leaving the 1,000. So you have Jalen Samuels up top with James Conner. You have Nick Chubb, Seibert, and Odell. If you really don't like Seibert in there, you can go grab Kareem Hunt and have the 3-headed monster on Cleveland with Chubb, Hunt, and Odell. The problem is I think this Steelers defense, they're going to be keying on these guys. These are their best players. Playing them all together is very, very risky. But if this does turn into a Pittsburgh game early, 17-0, 21-0, something like that, there's going to be a little cushion. I can see these 3 having a good game. So this game script's kind of like you want Pittsburgh to jump out early, but for the most part, I don't like playing these 3 guys together, and you're only leaving a $1,000 salary. Another one we can build, I'm going to put Baker in a utility spot, and let's go ahead and let's put Jarvis Landry in the top spot. He's just been so good. And if Cleveland falls behind early, they're going to have to go through the air. So I'm going to go ahead and plug James Conner and Vance McDonald in here. Again, like pairing the running back and tight end together. So you have Baker with Jarvis up in the top spot. Then you have James Conner and Vance McDonald. So we want to go get another one of Baker's targets. Ricky Seals-Jones, he is questionable. He was a full participant in Wednesday's walkthrough and practice, but he still is a game-time decision. I don't mind throwing him in there if we get some news and leaving 2,500. If not, don't mind Demetrius Harris, the backup tight end, throwing him in there. But I'm going to come right back down to Rashard Higgins again and leave the 4,500. I do think he's going to see quite a few passes heading his way. I mean, when he was in there, even when Callaway was in, he was number 4 receiver. We saw him get 3 targets in Tennessee, a couple targets in New England, and he even caught a ball last week when they didn't even have him at the number 3. So we have Jarvis up top with Baker and James and Vance McDonald with Rashard Higgins, and that'll leave you $4,500. Again, if you don't like Rashard Higgins, go ahead and jump up to one of those tight ends. And basically, that is my game script. So guys I'm focusing on, guys I'm confident in, James Conner, Nick Chubb, Jalen Samuels, Kareem Hunt, Boswell, all the running backs, both kickers. And then Jarvis Landry is probably my most confident wide receiver target. And I'll be playing Baker more than Rudolph. Other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. All the articles are up. We have the picks, which I already told you. I had the Steelers. Those picks are on there. NBA picks are up. NBA DFS article is up. Everything's up there. Have a good night. Send me some screenshots if you win. Take care.